Hi everybody, Gerone Wright here again, and in this video I'm going to be decoding um, what we have come to know as being demonic figures and demons, and what is the true meaning of these beings, and implications as they're being utilized in the ancient biblical art, ancient texts, and also in the ancient Renaissance era style of paintings. Okay, this painting here. Oh, matter of fact, in doing so, what I'm going to be detailing in these images and showing you is that when these references of these demonic beings are being made, it's actually representing that of ancient genetics, a genetic grail, a genetic bloodline, and just as in that, and with the as I've been saying all along in all of my other videos here, which if you haven't seen them, you must see, okay? Because I do have going, I think, towards 100 and at least 100.5 videos here now that are all must see that you should actually see there. It details how we evolved from our ape ancestor and ape likenesses to that of through black man, and then eventually through to all of the other cultures and civilizations and likenesses of people that we actually now are have become. It's a process, a cult-like process that I'm stating is still going on, is still happening, and there's genetic manipulation and alterings that's still yet to be seen in the groups of our ancient civilizations through to current to what we are today. This is Michelangelo's first painting. It is of Saint Anthony's battle with demons. Okay, and it's my position that these paintings all implicate these demons as being that of our black ancestors. And there will be a reference made there of our black ancestors, which would be first dealing with ape, and then likenesses of black man, and then genetics that and mutations that actually were bridged off of those two founding beings of our genetics, which is ape, black man, and plus there's also reptilian as well, and that's why you actually see these reptilian beings as also, and also a reference of oceanic life, which we evolved from as well too. Here, this image with Michelangelo creates a circle, a wheel of life. Then it creates the old guy up in the air. Now, if you look at this image and you look at it well, this is reminiscent of our ancient Chinese, our ancient Japan, and ancient biblical artwork, or should I say folk artwork, and then mention in ancient text how these beings are up in the air. You see them with carriages, with horses, horse-drawn carriages in the air, and it gives a detailed sense of them flying. Okay, which I know what this all means. But if you look at this, this is the same exact thing, because here you have the wheel, which represents the cyclination of life. And here you have this image of Anthony sitting there in the chariot being drawn. Okay? Really, what you have is just really the head of Anthony, if you look at it in that sense, because what is happening here is what you don't see. Okay? Anthony, I can take this and put this as a horse-drawn chariot, and these creatures pulling that of an ape in the chariot. Now, you probably say, well, where in the world is that? Where do you see all of that at, Jerome? Well, first of all, you have to understand what St. Anthony represents. Before there was white, there was black. There's an implication of that being made. If you notice Sir Anthony's head, his body, his clothing, his gown, creates the perfect shape, face of that of an ape. That's what this is all about. This will be the mouth, and it's showing you that it's actually bridged back over. But I'm not going to go into detail on all of that. Just look at this here for a minute. This is an ape's head. And these beings, the wheel of life, is showing you that there's a cyclination of bridging. There's a process of bridging that took place over the ape's head. But beyond that, notice how all of these demonic figures have this cartoon-looking way, like if they're made of faces, except for just one, this black woman right here, this African woman. Her ass, her face, all of her likeness is that of a black person. I'm going to see if I can bring that in a little closer so you can get a better detail of that. Look. You see that? Look at her. Right there. You see her there? The perfect likeness of a black person, of an African person, with wings. You see that? All of these creatures are not identifiable, except for her, this black woman, who I'm going to show you how Renaissance artists mentions her in other likenesses. Here we have our black ancestor encrypted in the body of Anthony, of Saint Anthony, in the head of an ape. This is an image of an ape, which is cloaked in its body. These creatures are indicating the wheel of life. Here, at the beginning, at the top here, you have our black ancestor, right there. And it's showing you a bridging over on how Saint Anthony genetically rebridged himself, and it's showing you that these genetics were reintroduced to alter genetics of mankind, and that's what these are implying. It's my finding that anywhere you see where there is a reference of demonic beings being referenced, it is a reference of that of a combat, an inward combat, genetic combat, or battle with the genes of these main two beings right here, which is that of ape, our ancient ancestor, and that of our ancient African descendants. And that's what this is all about. Now, which are genes, and I'm African American, by the way, people, so as you know, genetics of blacks are a very difficult, if you look at it, are a very difficult gene to actually break down and alter. And that's what these guys are implying with these Renaissance artworks. And they're showing you how at different stages, each artist at a different time, they show you how there's a breakdown in this ape's genes. And they're showing you how it's done. In fact, if you even look here closely, you might be able to see an eye, right there. It's a transparent image of an eye, like right about there. And then almost like the mid-torso of Sir Anthony there. Saint Anthony there. But anyway, I'm going to go on and show you another image with the Saint Anthony. Okay, that's by Michelangelo. This is an unknown artist. I forget who it is. I don't have this marked. I didn't mark it down when I created the image. So now, wherever you see this historical moment now, with this reference being made, we have the same implication. Here, for example, this is with Saint Anthony being tormented. Oh no, the first one was Michelangelo with Saint Anthony being tormented by demons. Here you have, again, Saint Anthony being cloaked by demons. People, look at this. Doesn't make a bit of damn sense if you look at that for what is. Let's see if I can get some of this sunlight out of here. There you go. Let's see if I can get this. I'm gonna have to hold on for a minute, people. I'm messing this video up here. Let me see if I can get some of this sunlight out of here so we can see a little bit better here. Alright, there you go. Probably took too much light out. Let me give us some back here. Alright. Bring some in from the back here. Let me show you something, people, on what's going on here. Actually, the sun went down. Probably take no, it's going to be there. Okay. Anyway. I can bring it in some. I'm going to show you something. Here, first of all, is what's happening is that they are showing this man being beat. You know why? They're beating the blackness out of him, the ape out of him. He's being genetically defeated. That's what this, and genetically bridged over. And these different genetics are being introduced into him. Now I want to make this perfect. Let me turn this light on. I'm going to try to see if I can get this some more light here, because I took some away, which is okay. I can't really get any. I'm going to have to go with what it is here. Now in this image, this guy here up with this club, or they're moonchucks and nightsticks that Chinese actually use. If you can see, this guy has an organ down from where his penis would be at, and you saw the artist's paint trails off going into St. Anthony there. But more importantly, is at the testicle of this being, there's an image of a serpent, of a snake. And if you follow it down just before his hand, it stops, before a connection is made. But the mouth is open, and what you don't see is there's a stringly line showing you that St. Anthony was bitten by the snake. And we all know what's happening when you get bitten by a snake. There's an injection of the snake's venomous poison or whatever. In this case, it's showing you that there is a genetic bridging between these two. And this is why St. Anthony's hand is cleverly positioned underneath the leg of this creature, showing you that this creature is bridged over St. Anthony. Now, look at the likenesses in the faces here in these beings. Each one of these beings are saying, look, I was bridged over St. Anthony. And then this being down here is saying, you know what? Now I pulled them out of St. Anthony. How did they pull them out? Genetically. It's showing you another genetic implication here. We all know that our hair is a genetic link to who we are. This is why this creature is shown pulling at the beard of St. Anthony, pulling St. Anthony down, saying, you're genetically coming with me or through me. And then look at here. Down here, you see the image of that of an ape, right there, in this creature's torso now. The brown figure, I don't know if you can see that really, really good. I can bring it in some. There's the image of the ape wearing a blood helmet, which is indicating the genetics from these creatures here. It shows you defining features of the helmet in all people, look. And then it shows you a different likeness of how the ape morphed. There's other morphing phases on how these genetics are broken down to become more that of our white counterparts. And it's showing you how we genetically evolved from that of black through to into white. And that's what this is all being implied. Okay? And this is exactly what's being said here. So, it's my position that these images are stating how we evolved from our genetically from our black ancestor, ape likenesses, and African ancestors to that of through to where St. Anthony is here, his image. So if I'm correct, then I can take other images, and I am correct, by the way, people. I can take other images and show you the same exact thing. And that's exactly what I can do. It's because the earlier these images, the first of these images all say the same exact thing. So, I'm going to show you again. Now remember the black woman. Here she is again. Hold on, let me turn her around. Here's our black woman again. And this is an image of Saint. Is this I think it's Saint. This might be Saint Jerome, I believe, or I believe this may be Saint Jerome. Hold on, do I have this marked? I think this is Saint Jerome. Yeah, it's Saint Jerome. I have it down as Saint Jerome. Okay, with his slaying of a demon. But the demon, I just dropped a tack. I hope I don't step on this here because I'm barefooted. And that tack is down here somewhere. But the demon that St. Jerome is slaying is in the image of that of a black person with braided hair, a black woman with braided hair, horns, the whole nine. And in her torso, besides seeing other faces, you can see black faces in here. This creates the entire head through here of that of an ape. Right here. This entire image. And this is the ape's left eye. The right eye would be behind here. And it's showing you the wrinkly face of the ape being crushed down by that of Saint Jerome. So how is Saint Jerome defeating this demonic figure? You don't see his sword as he normally does. You know how they usually have the sword? You see they're slaying the dragon or seeing the sword stuck into the dragon? No, you don't see that. You know what the sword is here, people? The sword is reptilian bridging, animal bridging, and this is how we do it. Look at it, St. Jerome's knee pads. They create the face of a lion. You see that? It's showing you that the semen of the lion, which is implicated by the white, which is actually coming from you're seeing that the lion's mouth is there, showing you that the genetics of the lion bridged over that of reptilian genetics, which is that of the snake, which is implied here through the scales right there. Okay, the bandaging of the scale, see that? And then you see the snake's eye right there in the left leg of St. Jerome, and it's showing you that the bandage of these reptilian genetics bridged over or shot into or bridged into that of our African ancestor to defeat them genetically, alter the genetics of our ancient African ancestors. And this is what this is showing. Genetic contamination, bridging, and poisoning of an ancient genetic to create new genetics. And that's what these Renaissance artists are boasting about in their Renaissance artwork. This is the journey of Jesus, and this is what this is all about. I hope I can get this rider shirt up in there. There you go. Let me bring this up in there. You see what I'm saying there, people? It's a genetic bridging. And that's what this is all about. Now, for those of you that don't want to believe, let's spin this all around. And I'm going to show you something because I do have some images drawn up here. When you Google this image, now, when you enhance them and actually draw on them, you actually take away from them. Because these images, before you actually take, when you find this image, look in here underneath his, I guess that would be his left foot or right foot at that point, left foot. There's an image of a reptilian-like creature, even with the scale, the spines that would be on, I forgot what you call them, like fins, like the triangles up on the head, okay, that our dinosaurs have. I forget what you call them, but you'll see his foot there over this being. There's an eye, okay. So when you find this, Google this image. All you have to do is go with how I found this image is I just go demons, ancient images of demons, or you ancient images of demons, and you'll actually run into this and just Google it out. This is on the web. This is not nothing that I created or photoshopped. This is all just basic me just downloading the image and showing you what I see. That's it. Okay. Here, down here, see these mutations, and this is right about where the lion and the snake is, showing you that where these genes were combative and instrumental in overcoming the genetics of our ancient ancestor. Now there's one that I did not highlight, and I want to bring that into you and see if I can bring that face into you, because you can see it clearly. Now I gotta find the mouth and stuff on that. Right there. Here it is here. Look it in the leg right there. Hold on, I'm going to come in from the other side, people. Look at the leg of this creature upside down, and look at the face looking right at you. See the horns? horn. Look at the eye. That would be the left eye. There's the right eye. There's the bridge of the nose. There's that piece between the lip. You know that little piece there that separates our lips in some of us? And there's the mouth line. Oh, that's the separation piece in the top lip right there. That line. That's the separation line for the top lip. Here's the lip line right there. And then there's the bottom lip right there. And then there's the chin. Look at this face right here, people. This demonic figure's face right here. And now, mind you, that this creature is upside down. So with this painting turned the other way in its upright position, you don't see this or this or these combination of genetics snaking off right here, showing you a new strand of genetics being created and taken out. Or you don't see this creature here that Saint Anthony is shown, Saint Jerome, I'm sorry, is shown stepping on right there. Okay, it is showing you how these beings are bridged over, which resulted in different likenesses of that of mankind. Now, I want to, just in case you didn't see, I'm going to show you that again. I'm going to bring that face in. Look at that face right there, people. You see that? So when you Google this image, look at that. Because there are a sequence of morphine faces, and it shows you genetic blueprint to how our black ancestors, which are here, and this, by the way, represents a black African female, as I just showed you with that in Michelangelo's painting. Now, notice that this black female, notice her horns and indicating that she is demonic, the horns coming out of the face, and even has that African, that bone and stuff coming through the face there, those horns and stuff. Now, I'm going to show you again in Michelangelo's painting how that black woman has the horns right there. You see that? It's amazing how Michelangelo has her body down to the T, down with the big butt and everything. Look at that. Brown skin, brown flesh, face, and everything else over here is unidentifiable. This is the only being that's identifiable here, besides the image, the outline of the ape that I showed you that you didn't know was there until I showed you. That's the second image. All of these other things look like something that is unrealistic or just based on mythical creatures, but they all represent that of the evolution of mankind, because we all know that we evolved from the ocean, the representation of fish, the ape, and it shows you a morphing stage of these beings genetically that we evolved through in these genetic manipulations and bridgings. But look at it's amazing though how he has this black woman's face just right, just perfect, down to her body. Okay, now she's also referenced there by this artist. Okay, now that we established that we're talking about a black woman here, let's go to this diagram or this picture of hell, this demonic figure in hell, shown devouring white people. You know what this is, people? Again, our black ancestor, our ape genetically, and our black man genetically, shown bridged over. This is not no thing where this is hell. Well, it's an implication of hell, but this is what I'm telling you, that hell is an implication of that, of a place where there was a genetic battle, a genetic overcoming, a genetic bridging, where sacrifices were made of our ancestors, or biblical ancestors that are referenced, references of these historical journeys and battles and all. It's a genetic reference, because this is a genetic grail as to how there were sacrifices made, just like Jesus on the cross. I told you that the cross means cross-referencing of mankind's genetics. Just what it means, a cross, the cross symbol. It's cross-referencing of genetics. The sheep herders or shepherd's crook. Same thing. How these genetics were corralled, herded, controlled. Um, the Egyptian what is that called? The oh gosh, I can't think of the name of it. Onyx, whatever that thing is called now. Same exact thing. Shows you how these damn, I can't think of that thing, the Egyptian, but anyway, the Ankhs or whatever, the Ankhs or the Egyptian Ankhs, whatever that is. Again, shows you how there was a genetic bridging with these tools are a reference to how mankind's genetics was bridged over, and the indication, the symbol of these tools show you. This is referencing, this is when it took place, this is how it took place, and if you look closely at the encryptions in the image, they're readable and they'll tell you exactly how it was done, and which creatures contributed, and which mutations were extracted, and which genetics were destroyed or bridged over. It's all there, people. Again, now that I gave this black being a face, which is that of our ape ancestor, our black ancestors. There's the horns. What's on here? It's not no devouring of us in a spiritual sense, but rather in a physical sense, genetically. The blood was taken in, rebridged. This is a rebridging, a picture image showing us that this being was genetically rebridged, contaminated. Think of this as being Africa. And these rebridgings occurring. Shows you that the blood was taken in there. Here, showing you that there was a bridging over the penis. You can't see it, but I can. There's a penis right there, equipped with veins and everything, squeezed from one side. Look, and here's the head over here. This implication, I'm going to take and bring this image back in Salvador Dali's painting. Salvador Dali has the same implication, but I'm going to read that thing to you. I mean, his surrealist art is actually amazing. But just like him and so many other artists that came after these images, that came first, that are in raw form, before there was this, I mean, Salvador Dali and Picasso and Rembrandt and Bernini and all, this stuff here was being implied. I see something here upside down too, by the way. I've already seen a couple other images. Yeah, these creatures are something else. All right, but anyway, these implications are all stating the same exact thing. How we were genetically bridged over. Okay, bridged over black man to create the other likeness. In other words, that's how I got from looking like my African ancestor, black as night, to this. It's telling us that, and to eventually becoming white. You see what I'm saying? That's all it says, people. Genetic grail as to how this all occurred. And it all makes sense because something of this scale, of a period of time over history, would require a mass record. So what better way to keep it than it would be in either in art or in ancient texts? And that's the way it was done. You know what I mean? So now, again, here's another picture. I want to bring Jesus into this. I don't like messing with Jesus because I notice that in my pictures with Jesus, it's like taboo because nobody wants to believe that their divine Jesus had anything to do with any of this, or had played part in this. But yeah, Jesus and Mary Magdalene and all of those that are mentioned in the Bible, Noah, John the Baptist, and Mary, Mother Mary, all of them had a role in playing on how we were genetically bridged. Now, here's this same guy. Who's this painting made by? In fact, I don't know why I don't have none of these. For some reason, I don't have none of my paintings marked. For whatever reason. So, let's zoom this back out. So again, here we have Jesus freeing his disciples from out of a locked out enclosure. Now, there's another artist artwork out there. I don't have it here, but I have it in my file, which I would actually, later on in time, I'll bring that back up. But where we at here? I'm going to bring that up some. This creature, let me bring this creature up, because let me bring that creature up. This creature, you take away the wing, and you have it a Sasquatch laying down there. That's an image of Sasquatch. And we know who Sasquatch is, don't we? Sasquatch is supposed to be this missing link or this earlier image of man. So if Jesus is shown walking over this creature to free his disciples, doesn't it say everything that I've been telling you all along in my many videos here, heading towards 200, that Jesus is freeing them genetically from their ancient rooted genetics, which was that of black man? A bridging. Jesus is bridged over the genetics of the black man, free of them. Now he's going back to give these genetics and do a rebridging and create new genetics, so therefore they are escaping an ancient rooted genetic that was dominating at one point in time. This is an indication Jesus is being commemorated in the ancient biblical text for genetically sacrificing himself, cross-referenced, which means the cross. That's what the cross symbol means. People are making a cross symbol. He was genetically cross-referenced and defeated these genetics. So now the new genetic line is being created, and in the future, our future, is telling us that Jesus will reemerge genetically in those that was genetically affected by this. And this is what this is all about, people. Now, for those of you that don't believe me and say, well, okay, I like bringing this image back because this image of Nervy Hall there's no clearer picture than this. Nervy Hall is named after its creator, Nervy, who was the architect of that building. And Fizzini is the sculpture of this mass where 6,000 people appears. You have the Pope seated with his cardinals on the other side, and Jesus is up. This is called a nuclear explosion. Now, why? I don't know, because it's just a sandstorm, because a nuclear explosion wouldn't have happened in Jesus' time. So therefore, what this is commemorating Jesus for overcoming our ancient genetics of that of ape and that of black man, just like everybody else is, through the use of reptilians. Let me take all of those down and show you that if you Google this image, and I made the highlights. However, you see that serpent's head there? If you Google this image, Nervy Hall and Fizzini's sculpture with the Vatican and them sitting there, you will see this reptile, this serpent. Let me bring it in close so you can see. You see the detail in the face? All I had to do was just highlight the lines. That's it. These defining features of this serpent's mouth are there. The neckline, all of this is all there. All I did in detail was just add some white right there, add right there, and create the ball, the eyeball right there, because the eye socket is already there. All of this is here. The teeth are there. All I did was just, those teeth are in the order that they are in the image. All I did was just add white and accent them with the black pencil liner, so I can show you in detail what's going on. But even the detail in the snake serpent's like bottom lip, the separation lines and all of this stuff here, it's already there. And it's showing Jesus' body emerging from that of that creature. Now, because he genetically sacrificed himself to genetically alter the genetics of mankind. Here, where we at here? I want to give us our reptilian ape. You see our reptilian ape right there, people? In that mass? Here's the ape's top of the ape's cranium. There's two penises, one on this side and one on that side, bent over, which I can tell you, I done told you what it means in other videos. There's the right eye socket of the ape. There's the left eye socket. There's the bridge of the nose. There's the right nostril there. There's the left nostril. Here's over the bridge of the mouth. And in the ape's mouth, you'll see a genetic linking chain. I don't know if you can see that because I got poor lighting here today, people. I'm not going to start the video. But there's a chain, a genetic chain, showing you that this ape was bridged over. And then it shows you genetics. Now, look at where all of this is going snaking off to. Into the snake's mouth, there's a worm-like creature with his neck bent around. And then there's a head of a man that I highlighted. I took the courtesy of highlighting for you right there. And it's showing you that these genetics are snaking all the way off again. Because you know why? Because this also is a genetic blueprint of how mankind was created and how he was genetically bridged over. And I can read the entire thing because through my paranormal experience and encounter, all Fazzini did was make a creation and then took away pieces, extracted pieces so you could not see. I can fill the pieces back in. You know why? Because I can fill in the gaps. You know why? Because I had a true paranormal experience and encounter, people, that allowed me to see multi-dimensional images and encryptions and encodings for what they truly are. Meaning that anything that references our creation, mankind's genetic altering or genetic bridging, through my paranormal experience and encounter, I can see reality and truth beyond it all. I have truly discovered what our call for existence is, how we came into existence, where we came from, where we originated at. I can even tell you the true cause for our entire universe, our being. People, this is child's play for me. Every piece of Renaissance art, even your biblical history, globally, Hindu, it doesn't matter. Our Muslim history, everything is all blanketed under the same exact thing and stating the same exact thing of what's going on. I see things in this image that you could not even possibly know that they were there until I point them out to you. I think I covered all bases of this. Alright, I'm going to close this video off. And I have another image up here. The point of why I'm making this video is that I want to show you that demons are a representation of our black ancestors. This is why I guess we got treated so badly. I'm saying we, the Africans and slaves and all of that. It was a device to corral us, to contain us, to genetically bridge and alter us. It's also my point that America is a place where America is a place, they say America is a land of the free and where you can go and do whatever you want to go do. It's also my position that America is a place where it's a genetic experimenting ground. These areas of containment, meaning our nations, you can go anywhere in our nations except and genetically be free to do what you want to do. But if you notice that in all other locations, America is the only place that where this stuff is taking place on a mass scale, where we are being genetically altered, where we're allowed to genetically intermingle with one another. Any other culture, I mean, you go there, you don't see this happen on such a mass scale. Artists show from the early Renaissance artists with the conquistadors, with Christopher Columbus, and many others, show how America was the initiating place where we came from. And I have videos on all this. I don't want to keep going and getting sidetracked. But it also shows how these genetic contaminations are taken back over and how these things are happening. Now look at America and then take Africa. You can do the same exact thing with that. The same exact thing. You're not free to be who you are in places except on certain locations that there's no care for in the world about. Meaning like places like Africa and America. If I don't know if I'm getting that point across. I'm telling you now that if you look at everything for what it truly is, genetically, as a genetic bridging, you will understand these artworks entirely a whole lot better. If you go into looking at these Renaissance artists' artworks, you can understand them a whole lot better and understand what is going on around us and why these implications are being made. Oh, I forgot to mention, you see Sasquatch down here with the angel wings on it, which is a representation, I'm telling you, of black man, black woman. Notice that Sasquatch is holding something in his hand. Besides seeing the face of a monkey right there, I see the mouth right there and the head. You can see the monkey right there. There's the eye socket. There's the mouth line. Let me show you what else Sasquatch is representing to show you. Now, mind you now, there's Jesus, halo over his head, and he's freeing his disciples. I'm telling you that Jesus is implying that he's being genetically bridged. He bridged himself successfully over that of black genes. He defeated black genes. That's what he's telling you by that. Look, the black genes that are in me are laid to rest. I'm in charge now. Here's my new genetics, and they're being genetically bridged. Now, check this out. I'm going to show you what's here before I go. I have to take it upside down and it would be that I can't see this while I'm. Oh, here you go, right here. Now I gotta try to show you. I'm gonna bring this in close enough for you. Hold on. I gotta bring this in close. And let me bring this in close as I can. Let me take this picture down so I don't have to worry about that. Now, when you Google this image, what is the name of this image? I don't even have this thing titled. Just go images of demons. Okay, and I'm surprised that I don't have this. I'm falling asleep here because I should have this actually Googled so you can actually look. All you have to do is just Google images of demons. Look at this ape here. Now look at his hand. Now I don't want to go too high. Am I up too high? I have to take it down. And I'm going to bring it in closer. Look at this creature. Right there. There's an eye and there's a mouth. Right there. You see that? That's a genetic representation. Then here's another lizard-like creature there. I'm coming across the mouth, in its mouth. There's his top lip there, I'm coming across. There's his bottom lip is there, and it comes around here. See the line of separation right there? I'm over the top of his forehead right there. And it comes around here, and it comes around there. And it shows you that this creature's hand, this Sasquatch looking creature, look at that, the monkey, people. Now look, check this out. Here's the other face there. Now do you know what those faces are? They are genetic mutations, representations of bloodlines on how our ape ancestor, ape black man, was broken down. And those creatures that you see there can be identified with the same creatures that are genetically referred to here. Where we at here? The likenesses of these beings. They were created to reference certain genetics and genetic bridgings, and this is what Renaissance artists did. So, based on what you see here, and I pulled it back so you can see the face a little bit better there. There's one there, and then there's another here. What these are genetic footprints, mutations that represent bloodlines, and here, the same exact thing. Do I have that turned? Yes, I do. And based on the earliest images through to current, you can read these genetic grails and it can tell us where we genetically are today, because they are genetic grails going from the beginning of time through to current. So before this image, there are other images, and it shows you bloodlines and which bloodline was bridged, which was dominated, which was cross-contaminated, which was destroyed, taken out, and what we can expect of ourselves in the future based on these records that were kept, meticulously kept, by the way, should I say. And these are the causes for where we are today, religiously, genetically, and why the different likenesses of who we are today are out. All based on our bridging of our ape ancestor, which is the ape head is shown here, and our African descendants. Each and every one of these Renaissance artists' artwork can be read. I can take it apart systematically. You have people that have dedicated their entire life to trying to understand the meaning behind these. You have ancient alien theorists on TV telling you that this is a representation of aliens. Sometimes I wonder, I mean, it's a good concept. I mean, it's a good idea if you don't have one that is more logical than what is being offered to you. But it can't be accepted now, because I'm telling you what it represents. It represents a genetic grail. So ancient alien theorists they're look. I'm going to tell you like Giorgio Stephanopoulos, whatever his name is, said their theory must fall wayside, because I've done explained what this all means. The wheel of life, the chariots, all of that. It is all a genetic reference to who we are. There's no alien there. I can take this more in depth in detail. Sometimes I wonder if these people, like I said, are being paid. Another person who I'm very disappointed into is the director of antiquities, the person that's over in Egypt, Zawi Hawass. Sometimes I wonder if he's just as dead as those mummies, or that he's unearthing, because these messages are written on stone. So how in the hell is he not getting it? Or is he being paid to misguide us and mislead us? Is Eric Van Daniken being paid to mislead us and deceive us? Is that why these people are becoming so successful? I can come in there in your temples, in your tombs, and in your pyramids, and in your culture anywhere, Zawi Hawass, and do a better damn job than you do. I can come out of there and probably read the entire glyphs in the pyramids and get a better understanding, because it all states the same exact thing: how mankind was genetically bridged over. The same exact thing from the beginning through to current. This is what your pyramids and temples are saying right here. The same exact thing. Japan, Cambodia, in the U.S., I mean globally, these things, the entire Middle East, everything is based on our evolution from this creature, the ape. Where's he at? Let me bring him back up so where you can. Our evolution over the ape ancestor, and this creature's genetic. And this creature's genetic becoming through mankind and his bridging over. The very thing that you fear is what keeps you from seeing the truth. Shows you a genetic bridging over of these beings. Beings that was created in the first place. I'm going to show you something too, by the way. Hold on while I'm at it before I close this video up. Are you going to sleep? You, you need to go. I'll give you a blanket. Yeah. I want to show you something right quick. How in the world can these creatures existed? I'm going to show you this picture again. These creatures existed. Oh, come on, zoom in. Oh, this thing, I hope this thing didn't stop. Okay. I don't know why it's not zooming out though. Why is this? I don't know what the hell is going on with my Alright, it's still recording. My screen freezes up for whatever reason. Alright, here. Here's a horned skull right here. These skulls was found in Pennsylvania some time ago, I think in the early 1900s, and then disappeared. There were several of them found. Horned beings. And then disappeared from a museum in Pennsylvania. I guess you could imagine, you know why? Because they changed the history and the ideal of everything that it is to understand about who we are. So that's the reason why they were stolen. This is a skull. All you have to do is Google horned skull or skulls with horns or humans with horns on the skull, and this image will come up in the story behind it all. Imagine. It tells you who you really are. Don't you notice that this is what this was all about? Just like that skull was stolen to keep you from knowing the truth. What do you think happening on all of these early explorations of our continents by the conquistadors, by Christopher Columbus, by Pierre Rice, and these other earlier explorers? You know what happened? The same similar thing. Evidence such as this that depicted and told us who we truly are, it was stolen, bagged up, and taken back with the jewelry and everything else that was stolen, that these people were robbed of, this ancient history, and shipped back to those who commissioned them to be on those explorations in the first place, which was this, the kings and queens of Spain and the Vatican. This evidence was destroyed. This is why you can go into these temples in Egypt, all globally, and wherever these people travel to, there are bullet holes in the faces and the disfigured statues, heads torn off of them, the whole nine, because it actually created a record and an idea of who we were and how we genetically evolved. So this people was stolen from the museum for the same exact reason. Imagine if scientists had an opportunity to take samples off of this and test this. Take lab samples. Or this was be able to come on TV and the national that we can actually identify with and talk with. It doesn't take much for a person to figure out, say, hey, well, if this being was real and walked this planet, then there's not much really to be afraid of them, because this is possibly how we evolved. These items, this is stolen from us. Our identity is stolen from us, people, of who we truly are. This is a representation of a genetic time and an evolution in our time where this being evolved because we were genetically bridged with animals that had horns. Genetics from that of the animal that had horns. And this is why you can see Triceratops in pictures at Angkor Wat. Triceratops on the and dinosaur on burial stones in Peru. And mentions of these prehistoric creatures that we weren't physically with, but they are genetically within us. And this is the reason why we are being deceived. We were genetically bridged through these creatures. We evolved through these creatures, and it created such likenesses as this. And later calls for those that want to deceive us, flip this story upside down and turn it into demonic, something demonic and evil that you are afraid of, and now they capitalize off your fear of it all. And turn it into something divine that you must now worship like a damn fool. Here, let me turn this picture up. Your fear, am I got this upside down? Your fear of dying and coming face to face with something of the unknown, like this, or where that demonic being at, or our devil friend, is what precludes you from seeing the truth. And when we in reality, if you open up your damn eyes, you can see all of the mutations in the creatures that calls for your existence and who you genetically are. And they're all hidden in these Renaissance artist artworks, and it tells you who you are. I'm surprised ancient alien theorists didn't take this and say, look, there's Jesus on Sasquatch. You see that Sasquatch existed. He must have killed him and turned this into something. It shows you how black man was bridged over, genetically defeated. And Jesus is standing on top of that black person, which is our ape ancestor, Neanderthal ancestor, I don't care what you want, is saying that they genetically defeated the genetics from which this creature evolved. And new genetics were bridged over and created. And new bloodlines. Then these miracle babies come. Then there's a miracle baby, a new miracle white baby that is genetically altered and more to being genetically correct, in the sense of those that have this idea that they had to evolve from the likenesses of that of our ape ancestor and black ancestor through a precise systematic system that actually calls for our genetic alterings and bridgings. Again, our black ancestor, there's mutations in the beard of this creature down through here, and it shows you, if you look at it, snaking off of genetics, it shows you how these genetics are bridged over. These beings are bridged over. It shows you a cyclination, a bridging over, and it's the same exact thing that's being implied here. And if you look closely, you can't see no creature here in the leg right there. But if you turn the image upside down, now these are famous images too, by the way. And then panning closer, their faces are hidden. There, you will be able to see faces. And if you look closer, you'll see a snaking object going in this creature's mouth as well too. My name is Gerone Wright. I'm going to let that go. Okay, I got into this video a little longer than what I want to say. But demons and devils are a representation of genetics. Our genetics that were overcame, and with them being more closer to that of our ancient roots people, they were powerful beings genetically. That's what this is implying. So our story of them was translated, not mistranslated. It just plays on the ideas of everything that you actually want to believe and then turned it into it. It just grew into something else. But basically all they're stating is that we genetically overcame the beast. The beast is that of our ape ancestor, our black ancestors, and in every one of these Renaissance artists' pictures that you actually take and either download or look at, is telling you the same exact thing. Don't look at this beast as existing in reality. Well, in reality, not outwardly, but look at this beast existing in a genetic sense inside of this person. And then you'll see why all of this here on its legs, those wrappings, are there. It shows you a genetic bridging and overcoming of this beast genetically. My name is Gerone Wright. I'm going to let this video go with that. Thank you for watching.